This is an amazing moment, and we've been waiting for this for a long time. And it's just, I don't know how much is joy and how much is relief, but this team all year long has been a joy from the day one, from Midnight Madness to winning number 8. We've loved every second of the ride and wouldn't change a thing.
And we covered every second of that championship ride. Welcome to the Red and Blue Review. Gupper and Darrell Bird getting ready to walk you back through this incredible run to a national championship. Darrell, you've been covering Kentucky sports for years.
Years and years.
One of the most remarkable groups of talent I've ever seen at any school.
At any school, and not just the talent, unselfish talent. Never seen anything like it, and I'm not sure we'll ever see anything like it again. What a unique personality group, not just a talented group. And this show is going to be so much fun to do. It's all UK, it's the championship season, and no Howie anywhere in sight. No Howie to interrupt, just me and you and UK season.
We're going to start off by telescoping the regular season down into a really short clip we're calling the Lightning Round. The Lightning Round on the Red and Blue Review is brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, who reminds you that one text or call could absolutely wreck it all. Well, this Kentucky basketball team began the season 2 games in, taking on Kansas, the team they would eventually meet in the national championship game, and they took care of business very easily, winning that one by 10. Up next was North Carolina, 2 highly ranked teams playing in Rupp Arena, and the hero of the game was Anthony Davis, who blocked a shot that saved the game for the Wildcats.
Anthony, did you know you were going to get that block, or were you hoping you were going to get that?
I was hoping I was going to get it at least contested and hope he missed, but I didn't know I blocked it until I felt my fingers come back. I see the ball. I looked at the ball and it was straight up in the air. I was like, oh, I got to grab this one. So I grabbed it and then threw the ball to Marcus.
The great shot blockers wait till you release it and then they go after the ball. So a ball fake doesn't bother them because they're not leaving anyway. So you can ball fake 6 times until you start to release the ball. When it's out of your hand, a shot blocker will go after it. That's what he does. And the other thing a shot blocker does is he's blocking not his man's shot, he's blocking somebody else's shot. And that's why I'm telling my players, don't foul.
It kind of allows us to play more aggressive. Like you said, we know he's back there, he's a shot blocker. And even if he doesn't block the shot, 90% of the time he's altering the shot. So, I mean, that makes our job a lot easier. We can play more aggressive. We trust each other a lot more because he's back there helping, so it makes everything a lot easier. I think he's a big part of this defense.
The thing I like about him, I mean, you're going to say, okay, let's review the key games of the regular season. Well, of course you're going to say North Carolina because it's 2 big rivals, but more importantly, we didn't realize it at the time. We knew Davis was good. This was the debut of the greatness that would be Anthony Davis throughout the entire season. This is the first step to being National Player of the Year, to make that kind of a play, national TV, game on the line, to be able to do that. And how many games after that did we see him change the outcome? I mean, there's no national title without him. Clearly, everybody knows that. But just to see him develop, and it all started with that one play against North Carolina, was pretty cool.
The next big game on the schedule for the Cats was that game on the road against Indiana. Now, Kentucky ended up losing that game for the first time in the year. They lost at 73-72. Christian Watford hit a last-second shot to propel Indiana to the upset win over the Wildcats. And the next week in practice, Cal ran the last 5-second sequence of the game again in practice, and they messed it up again.
We screwed it up again. We did. We screwed it up again. What it tells you is we got freshmen. What you're saying is not necessarily what they're hearing. So instead of me trying to be tricky and think, well, if I don't foul here, they're going to say, why didn't he foul? He had 2 years. Play your man, and let's make him not score. How about that? Instead, we got 2 to give. When they get near half court, we're going to foul. We're young. We're not ready for that. And there are things that are happening in the game because they're so young that they're going to make mistakes where you and I will look at and say, well, he didn't know to do. No, he didn't. He didn't.
I got to talk to some of the players after the season. Michael Gilchrist was talking about the first week of practice. He said, oh, we were so bad. We had no clue what anybody was doing, a lot of raw talent. And I picked this game because the loss was a very good learning tool for UK, and also because of Terrence Jones. He was horrible in this game and then immediately hurt his finger the next day out and was out for several games. So it was a really tough moment for him. How would he handle that? Look at how he closed out the year. Oh my goodness, he was a monster down the stretch, huge in every NCAA tournament game. And would he have ever got to that point if he didn't have to endure the embarrassment on national TV of really stinking it up against the Hoosiers? I don't know. You grow so much when you're that young. He took it on the chin, and he had to bounce back or just vanish into the dark, and he came back strong.
Kentucky closed 2011 with a win against Louisville in the final day of 2011 on that New Year's Eve. They rolled right through the SEC regular season play. They had just knocked off a Florida team in Lexington, a little easier win for the Cats than they were expecting. And up next was a road trip to Vanderbilt, where Cal knew the challenge would be even taller.
What we need to do is have a team come out and go nutty on us and have us have to respond to that and then hold on to win a tight game. And this is a team that will, again, it'll be a different game at Florida, I promise you. I know what it'll be down there.
It doesn't get any nuttier than game day at Vanderbilt. The whole crew is there. Dick Vitale is surfing across the fans. Everybody, and it's a 9 o'clock start. They've had the entire time to build up. And also, I picked this game because the first time all year, the knock on UK had been they're really good, but they're a little soft because they're thin and all this. Let's go punch them in the mouth. And Vanderbilt was physical enough to do that. Punched UK in the mouth several times. This game was a brutal war throughout, and UK still prevailed, met that physical challenge, and made more key plays down the stretch. Vanderbilt didn't make any. UK ramped up that defense, and Vanderbilt did nothing the rest of the way in the closing minutes. But UK proved to itself they could answer that criticism of you're not physical enough. Yes, they were.
Kentucky steamrolled right through the SEC regular season schedule, going 16-0. They went into the SEC tournament as the #1 team in the nation and didn't taste defeat again until Vanderbilt stopped them in the championship game.
Maybe now everybody realizes we're not invincible. Like we're like everybody else out there. We're going to have to execute. We're going to have to play hard. We're going to have to play, with some aggressiveness and intensity, or we will get beat. That's just how it is, and that's for any team out there. If you think you're walking into the tournament and there's a path, there is none. You got to grind it out each game, and you're going to have to play well, or you go home.
To me, a fun debate for Cat fans is this, and this is my opinion. UK does not win the national championship if they do not lose that Sunday in the SEC final. They had been playing okay down the stretch in regular season and during the SEC tournament, but they were not putting together enough long stretches to win the NCAA tournament. They were playing fits and starts, and they had to be more consistent start to finish than what they had been showing. Vanderbilt kind of rocked them back on their heels a little bit. It's time to start over. The good thing for UK, there are no 3 games in 3 days. It's 2 games over a weekend. You go back and you get ready for the next weekend, but they do not win unless they lose to Vandy.
Well, that was Cal's first loss in the SEC tournament. So now, for the first time in the John Calipari era, they're heading into the NCAA tournament off a loss. We'll talk about the effect of that when we come back. As we head to the break, Daryl's going to tell us how to get a copy of Celebrate #8.
Absolutely appreciate it, sir. If you're enjoying this remembering of the season, you'll absolutely want to get a copy of Celebrate, 136-page book that we did with over 150 photographs. We take it game by game, look back on every single game that UK played, and a huge emphasis, of course, on the postseason, the net cutting, and all of that stuff. Celebrate 8. You can find it in 148 different cities in the Commonwealth, or order at magazine.catspaws.com.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, check out Allstate Ford's pre-owned inventory at allstatetrucks.com. Large selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Also, a nice selection of Ford-certified pre-owned vehicles. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and now is the time to get your new truck. Bachman has more Chevy trucks than any other dealer, all at fantastic prices. You'll get every Chevy incentive plus exclusive Bachman discounts during Chevy Truck Month. Tremendous selection of Silverados and every dependable Chevy truck. Plus, you save more during Chevy Truck Month with exclusive Bachman discounts. All Chevrolets are created equal. Bachman makes the difference.
Underage drinking can permanently affect your memory and speech abilities. 10% of suicides involve underage drinking. 36% of homicides involve underage drinking. 30% of drownings involve underage drinking. Almost half of underage drinkers become addicted. Don't throw your life away.
Did you see Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Allison.
Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro?
What did he tell?
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
It means everything to us to get number 8. We've been waiting so long for this moment. It means so much to our families. We grow up a Big Blue Nation. It's in our blood. We're born into it. It's everything for us. C-A-T-S. Cats, cats, cats!
Well, we know it had a happy ending for all those Kentucky fans, but it really was a questionable start. When you looked at the pairing of the NCAA tournament, Daryl, you saw that Kentucky potentially had rematches against Indiana, Louisville, and Kansas, and it's tough beating anybody twice in a season.
Absolutely, and it didn't even start with Western Kentucky, but you looked at it, and Calipari, of course, was complaining that, you know, they've given us the gauntlet, they've given us all this, and yet the national people said, oh, this region's not as hard as he's trying to make it out to be. But Cal's going to say that every year. Every coach is going to say, oh, we've got the worst road going. He talked about some guys having easy pass, some are in foxholes, dodging bullets. That's what he was saying. That's the way our region is.
Well, the march to the championship actually began in Louisville. The Cats getting a chance to play a quote-unquote home game at the Yum Center against a team from their home state, Western Kentucky University. Terrence Jones, the guy who disappeared in the loss to Indiana, suddenly was emerging as he jumped into the postseason. 22 points, 10 rebounds against the Toppers.
Just his intensity has been a lot higher. And, I feel like we're a way, way better team when he does that. I mean, because he's one of the best players on the team. So, I mean, when he plays like that, we feed off of it. Like I said, it gets us going, and we're a better team.
Terrence, what's turned it on for you? You've just been phenomenal the last few weeks.
Really just trying to do that for my team and myself, and just playing aggressive and just trying to rebound.
And Terrence knows what it takes, too. He's one of the 3 who had been to a Final Four, so he knew how hard you have to play in postseason. I was talking to him after the year was over, and you remember he had the dislocated finger. He said that hurt so much and almost made him sick when it happened. That took a while to bounce back from. That was on his shooting hand, so that gave him trouble. But once he got things going and once he realized and took on the role of, I've got to take everybody's big, beefy inside guy that's going to beat me up, I've got to do that for our team, and he took on that role, he was unstoppable when he set his mind to it.
Another weak link in this team back in the fall appeared to be point guard Marcus Teague, but by the time they hit Iowa State in Kentucky's second round game, or at least their second game in the NCAA tournament, Teague was emerging as an offensive power with 24 points against Iowa State.
Definitely, Coach Cal told him, some nights you're going to score 5, some nights you're going to score 30. Just go out there and play. But he wanted to run the team, man. He said every shot they took was a good shot today. I don't really think he missed a shot. Missed 1 or 2 shots maybe. Made great plays and still scored. Leading scorer, I think, for the game. And it was just great. If he keep playing like that, I think we're going to be a tough team to beat, especially when Terrence is playing like this as well.
He don't really look for a shot that much. He look for his teammates getting involved. His main focus is winning games. Really, Marcus ain't trying to get 20 every night. We know if we let him go, he could get 30. Today he been way aggressive today. We told him to be aggressive, and we look for him to score. Look for him to score today. And he did a great job of that.
I just felt confident. I was taking good shots, and they were falling. I was just trying to find my teammates when they were open, because I know they're gonna make those shots, and they were knocking them down.
If you can't feel good for Marcus Teague, shame on you. It is so tough playing point guard for Calipari. And an emotional freshman who wore his emotions on his sleeve when things weren't going well. He was used to taking 20, 25 shots, scoring 20-some points a game. He had to give all of that up and lead the team before he ever did anything else. And because of that, it got to the point in this game, Iowa State decided, we have Royce White. We're going to take care of the inside. We're going to shut down Davis. We're going to shut down Jones. We'll let Teague beat us. Guess what? Teague drilled you. He absolutely went off in that game, and no, they didn't have an answer for him. If you plan to let Teague beat you and then he's doing it, there's not a thing you can do about it.
Now, Teague was the worst, if you will, of the 3 point guards that Cal's had at Kentucky. John Wall did not win a national championship.
No.
Brandon Knight did not win a national championship. Darrell Burr, why does Marcus Teague win one?
Marcus Teague won because he was surrounded by unselfish teammates, and Calipari made the point a lot during the season. Every one of these top 5 or 6 guys averaged 20-some points a game, and you've got to surrender and be willing to take very few shots. He took fewer shots than just about anybody on the team, and that took a while for him to learn because he's used to being, I've got the ball, I'm going to score. Well, I've got the ball, I got to give it up, and I may get it back and go score. It takes a while to develop.
Kentucky left Louisville and hit the road for Atlanta, where they would meet up in a rematch against the Indiana Hoosiers. And Kentucky absolutely blasted IU right out of the Georgia Dome. The final was 102-90. And Tom Crean said afterwards that the tribute for how well Kentucky's doing goes to Coach Cal.
They've got great players, and there's no question about it. And they've got a great team. And it starts with John. I mean, how good a coach he is, and that coaching staff that he's got. I mean, to have that much talent and to get them to play that hard, that long, all year long, that says a lot.
That was such a joy to watch that game as a basketball fan, and we've had the conversation on this show before. College basketball is much better when Indiana is relevant. Start to finish, that was as an intense competitive game as I've seen in years for both teams. Neither team was going to blink. There was no doubt about it. And it just finally, UK had enough to push ahead at the end and win this game. But what a lot of fun that was just to sit there and to be able to soak that in. That's the way college basketball should be, in my opinion.
Up next for Kentucky was the team that it looked like may give Kentucky its toughest challenge to that point in their postseason run, and that being a very good Baylor basketball team. Kentucky followed up a 102-point performance against Indiana by ringing up 82 on Baylor.
Definitely. I mean, we got a lot of points in transition in the regular season, and we just didn't get out to that in the tournament at all. And just really had a slowed down paced offense, and that's not us. That's not what's fun about playing with all these guys that are athletic and can pass like Marcus and Duran and dribble and get out and run. That's what's fun, and that's what we should be doing.
Do you think it has a psychological effect on opponents when you guys, with your athleticism, kind of swarm and get out and run and do all those things?
Yeah, I think it wears them down. I mean, us running transition points and then getting into a full court press and just defending, it just tires teams down and wears them out.
Okay, Cat fans, let's be honest right here. It's Selection Sunday, the bracket comes out. The one team that scared you more than any, Baylor.
Absolutely.
You looked and you said, uh-oh, there's the one team in the country that has as much athleticism to match UK player for player athleticism, and they were actually a tad taller than UK at all the positions, so you're like, whew, that one will be scary. Took them apart in the first 5 minutes. It reminded me of some of the older UK teams that made runs like this in March, where they just had it going, and it didn't matter who was on the other side. They were going to run them out of the building right off the gate, and they did. Goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the show. The loss to Vanderbilt in the SEC kind of jarred them and got them refocused, and they put all that ability together and really started playing tremendous basketball for extended periods of time, which you have to do to win the NCAA tournament.
Kentucky led that by 20 at the half. They could have won that game by 40 if they wanted to. And what that win set up, Darrell, was one of the most exciting times that I've ever covered as a sportscaster. Give me your thoughts going into that Louisville game. Kentucky's heading to the Final Four. Not only are they going back to the Final Four for back-to-back seasons, they're going to face Louisville in the national semifinal.
You spend the first few days shaking your head saying, you got to be kidding me. Louisville in the Final Four? There had a lot of fans saying the only way it could be better if it was in the championship game, and you can't guarantee that either team would have been there. So you take the Final Four, and to me, the perfect stage to demonstrate what basketball is all about in the state of Kentucky to a national audience, and both teams did that extremely well. Very competitive game, a really good game, and both sides came out looking very impressive, I think, and it was a lot of fun. You're right.
Both teams were absolutely playing at their best when they met up down in New Orleans in the Superdome. A super game by all the Cats and all the Cards, to be honest with you. Afterwards, Shane Bohannon and Russ Smith said the whole difference in that UK team was Anthony Davis.
It's just they a heck of a basketball team, and with them, you never know what can happen. And I mean, you just got to keep solid on defense, and And we tried, and they just made a lot of big shots at the end. So a lot of big shots, and they got a lot of big rebounds.
They're definitely a talented team. There's no doubt about that. But overall, it's just Davis makes that team go, and there's no doubt about it. Defensively, he does things that if he weren't there, things might be totally different, and there's no punchline to that. So that pretty much sums it up. Offensively, they're a great team. They're probably scoring anybody. Defensively, they're a great team, but Davis just makes them that much better.
Did you notice that was the locker room after a loss in the Final Four? They were all upbeat because they had done what no one expected. They got to the Final Four when their season was in big jeopardy a month before the postseason started. Kentucky, obviously, had they lost, that would have been devastating to them. They were there to win the national championship. Louisville was just happy to be in the Final Four. And you saw it play out exactly as it should have. Kentucky is a better team than Louisville. There's no doubt that 10 times out of 10, they're going to win that basketball game. But that's the way it played out, and it's so much fun for the fans to put on that kind of a show for the nation.
You know, Louisville managed to tie the score at 49-all in the second half. And although Kentucky fans were probably nervous, Daryl, I never got a sense the Kentucky players were nervous at all. They were going to lose that game to Louisville.
I never saw Kentucky players get nervous the entire season, which to me spoke volumes to how mature this group was to be as young as they were. They never got rattled by anybody. Even the games they lost, they never got rattled. They just started missing shots against Vanderbilt, but it was impressive. You're right.
And that set up Kentucky in another rematch, this time taking on Kansas in the national championship game. And, of course, Kentucky won that game. The final was 67-59, giving Cal his first career NCAA title, and Cal took the whole thing in stride.
I told my wife, I'm glad it's done. Now I can get about my business of coaching basketball and getting these players to be the best that they can be and helping young people, create better lives for themselves and their families, and also help them prepare for life after basketball. I can get on with that. Now I don't have to hear the drama. I just coach now. I don't have to worry. If you want to know the truth, it's almost like done. Let me move on.
And going back to just coaching is perfectly fine with Calipari, because I know people are going to say, oh, you're just the UK guy. One coach in America, Gary, could have pulled off what John Calipari did, and it's him. Nobody else could blend that much talent, that much young talent, to get them to sacrifice to the level that they sacrificed. For Anthony Davis to be the player of the year and take the fourth most shots. I looked it up. LeBron James, if he did that, he would have to surrender his shots to Mario Chalmers, of all people. That ain't happening. You don't get players like that to do that. Calipari did.
When we come back on Red and Blue Review, Darren and I will tell you who turned out to be the difference maker for the national champs. As we head to the break, Howie wanted me to remind you that if you want to keep up with what's going on with the Cards, go to cardinalsports.com.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, check out Allstate Ford's pre-owned inventory at allstatetrucks.com. Large selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Also, a nice selection of Ford-certified pre-owned vehicles. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and now is the time to get your new truck. Bachman has more Chevy trucks than any other dealer, all at fantastic prices. You'll get every Chevy incentive plus exclusive Bachman discounts during Chevy Truck Month. Tremendous selection of Silverados and every dependable Chevy truck. Plus, you save more during Chevy Truck Month with exclusive Bachman discounts. All Chevrolets are created equal. Bachman makes the difference.
Bachman makes a difference.
Underage drinking can permanently affect your memory and speech abilities. 10% of suicides involve underage drinking. 36% of homicides involve underage drinking. 30% of drownings involve underage drinking. Almost half of underage drinkers become addicted. Don't throw your life away.
Did you see Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? He needs help.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
The difference maker for the champions this year was not one player or one coach, it was the entire team.
Did you have fun watching that team play? Now, let me just say this. More importantly, did they look like they were having fun playing basketball? You know, that's what our jobs are as coaches, is to get them to really enjoy what they're doing, even with all of this craziness around them, where they're not feeling anything except, let's go have fun and play basketball. It is a players first program. It's a players first program. And I told you, if you treat these kids right and you do right by them, they will drag us to where we want to go. Did they drag us to where we wanted to go?
Yeah, we'll end this year by talking about next year and another national title. I've heard some of the incoming guys say, let's go do what they did. I asked a lot of the guys who won it this year. They said, it is so much hard work. You have no idea how hard it is to do.
It was an absolute pleasure to follow this bunch. Really classy kids, a very classy coach who has finally pulled that big monkey off his back. Kentucky, the national champions. See you next time on the Red and Blue Review.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.